In a quiet town, surrounded by dusty roads and old houses, there lived a boy named Ethan. He was known as the gifted one since childhood. Teachers praised him, neighbors talked about him, and his parents believed he was born for greatness. Ethan learned things faster than other kids. He could solve math problems without writing steps, memorize lessons after reading them once, and answer questions that confused even older students. Everyone believed his future was already written. Ethan himself believed the same. He grew up thinking that intelligence was enough. Hard work, discipline, routine, those things he felt were for average people. He often said to himself, "Why struggle when my brain works faster than others?" And for a long time, life seemed to prove him right. In school, Ethan barely studied but still scored well. He spent most of his evenings scrolling through his phone, watching videos, chatting online, and dreaming about a future where success would simply arrive because of his talent. When exams came, he studied at the last moment and still passed. Each success made him more confident and more careless. His parents worried, but they trusted his intelligence. His teachers warned him, but he smiled politely and ignored them. Deep inside, Ethan believed he was different. He believed the rules of discipline didn't apply to him. As years passed, the competition around him grew stronger. Other students began working harder, studying longer, building habits. Ethan noticed that while he stayed the same, others were slowly catching up. But instead of changing, he made excuses.
They're trying too hard. They don't have natural talent. I'll focus seriously later. Later became his favorite word. Ethan's biggest dream was to become a surgeon. He imagined himself wearing a white coat, saving lives, earning respect. He loved the idea of success, but he hated the process required to achieve it. He thought intelligence would carry him across the finish line. Then came the National Scholarship Exam. It was a life-changing opportunity. Winning it would mean financial freedom, admission to a top institution, and a clear path toward his dream. Everyone expected Ethan to win. His parents told relatives in advance. His teachers mentioned his name proudly. Ethan, however, treated the exam like everything else. He delayed preparation. He told himself there was time. When he finally sat down to study, his phone buzzed, his mind wandered, and his focus collapsed. One chapter turned into one video turned into hours. On the exam day, he walked into the hall confident but unprepared. When results were announced weeks later, the town buzzed with excitement. Students checked their names eagerly. Ethan stood in the crowd, smiling, sure his name would appear. It didn't. He checked again and again. Nothing. His heart sank, his chest tightened. Around him, students celebrated, many of them those he once considered average. Friends who studied daily had succeeded, some even surpassed him. For the first time in his life, Ethan felt invisible. That evening, he sat alone in his room, staring at the wall. His phone lay silent, no scrolling, no videos, just regret. He replayed every wasted hour, every excuse, every ignored warning. He realized something painful. He was not defeated by lack of intelligence, but by lack of discipline. That night, he didn't sleep. The next morning, Ethan made a decision. If intelligence had failed him, he would rebuild himself from the ground up, not as a gifted boy, but as a disciplined learner. He didn't know where to start, so he went to the local community center, a place where people went to train both body and mind. There, he met an older man named Daniel, quiet, calm, and firm. Daniel was known for helping troubled students develop focus and self-control. He wasn't famous, he wasn't flashy, but those who trained under him changed. Ethan approached him hesitantly and told him everything: his talent, his failure, his confusion. Daniel listened without interrupting. When Ethan finished, Daniel said something simple. Talent is a seed. Discipline is the soil. Without soil, the seed dries and dies. That sentence stayed with Ethan. Daniel didn't promise shortcuts. He didn't offer motivation speeches. Instead, he offered structure. He taught Ethan to wake up early, to plan his day, to study in blocks, to remove distractions, to sit with discomfort instead of escaping it. At first, Ethan struggled badly. His mind resisted focus. His body wanted comfort. Every urge screamed for distraction. But Daniel reminded him, discipline is not control of actions, it's control of choices. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Slowly, something changed. Ethan began to enjoy focus. He felt proud after completing study sessions. He noticed clarity replacing chaos. His confidence no longer came from talent, but from effort. When the next major exam arrived, Ethan was different, calm, prepared, grounded. This time, he didn't just pass, he ranked at the top. Years later, as Ethan stood in a hospital corridor wearing a white coat, he remembered his old self, the boy who believed intelligence was enough. He smiled, not with pride, but with gratitude. He had learned the truth. Success doesn't come from talent alone. It comes from training the mind to stay where it matters. Intelligence may open the door, but discipline is what allows you to walk through it. And that lesson changed his life forever.